Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Roberts here, and I am the Pod Queen. So I want to talk to you today about the fact that God is writing a story with your life. And sometimes we feel like we're just randomly going through life. Sometimes it doesn't feel like there's connection points, or it feels like we go one direction, then we go the next direction, and we can't see the rhyme or the reason. It doesn't feel systematic. And I just want to present another option to you. I want to say that I believe there's nothing random about your life. I believe that God is writing a story, and you are the main character in the story, and He knows how to bring about the best in you. He knows how to produce the character in you that you need. He knows how to use every circumstance to produce greatness in you, to fulfill the destiny He's given you. And I think of, David. In Psalm 139, he gives a clear picture of God and the fact that he is intimate with God, that God knows him, that God's aware of random details of David's life. David says, He knows when I stand, He knows when I sit. No one knows when I stand and when I sit. But David was confident that God's eyes were on him. And I love that. I love that God is aware of our lives in the mundane. He's aware of the things, the circumstances, the places that no one else can see, no one else is aware of, no one else maybe even notices or cares about, but God sees, and He knows, and He's watching. And there's nothing haphazard about your life. And so I just want to let you know that God is writing your story. And He's the one who began your journey. He's the one who's going to finish your journey. And He's going to fill in the blanks all along the way in between your journey. And so I want to look at Psalm 139, verse 16 today. It says this, "Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them." That's, like, if you think about that, that's a little bit crazy. That God has your story, it's already written, the book is written, and our journey is to walk out the story that God has written about our lives. Now, I'm not going to get into the predestination, the open-ended thought of God, blah, blah, blah. Yes, God knows the future. Yes, you have a free will. You work out the tension with Him about the details of that. But what I do know is that He has a purpose for you. He has a plan for you. You are not insignificant in the scope of humanity. You have a part to play. Your life has a story to tell, and there's destiny in every season that you find yourself in. And I think of, it says that he wrote my story, my book is written before I was even alive. So now we're alive, and I feel like we become the pen. God turns us upside down, and He's writing a story with our lives. Sometimes all the blood is rushing to our head. We're getting a headache. We're upside down. He's, writing letters. It feels like we went up and we went down. We went sideways, backwards. He dotted the I. It feels like, what kind of whirlwind am I in? But I'm telling you, God is holding the pen of your life. And it's going to come together. And at the end of your journey, you're going to thank Him for it. You're going to say, how did you create a beautiful story out of what seemed like a mess, what seemed like random steps I was taking? But God will go, I knew what I was doing. And yet all along the journey, He had a purpose in the things that you walk through. Even the place of pain, God uses it. The place of joy, God uses it. The desires that you have, they're placed there by God. And so I just want you to know, I don't know where you're at. I don't know what job you have. I don't know what season of life you're in, what country you're in even. But I do know this. God is writing a story with you. And I want you to see that story, to ask Him to open your eyes, to have the perspective that God has as He's looking at your life. Because He's writing a story about you, and it's going to be good. And in the end of your journey, you're going to thank Him for His wise leadership. He's good to you, and you're not forgotten. He sees you, and this journey that you're on is good, and the story He's writing is going to be amazing. And that's what the Pod Queen thinks. Se você gostou desse vídeo, comenta aqui aqui, gente.
Isso, muito bom, muito